The first video we're gonna take today, we want to start learning mathematics. Okay, so we want to start mathematics. Maths.
You know that you can use this?
Yeah. So mathematics that we want to start, like I told you earlier, so we'll be doing the recording now. We'll record everything we're doing right now. So we want to start off, and like I told you about mathematics, the way I learned mathematics, so I want to impart the same knowledge on you, in you, so you'll be able to understand.
Okay.
Because it all starts from learning what is numerals and what is algebra. So like in mathematics, we have the numerals.
Okay. Numerals.
Yeah. And we have the algebra.
Algebra. We're still in numerals.
Yeah, so we're talking about numerals. So the numerals are the numbers in mathematics. Any aspect of mathematics that has to do with numbers is the numeral part of mathematics. And the other part of mathematics that has to do with combining numbers with letters, that is the algebra part of the mathematics. So we need to understand the numeral parts, then we understand the algebra parts. So first is that we need to understand the type of numbers, the common type of numbers that we have. No, we have the integers. The numbers we have the integers. We have the whole number.
Whole number.
Then we have the
dividing line.
We have the fraction.
How about the dividing line?
So we have fraction. Then we also fractions. We also call them rational number. We call them rational. Rational. That's ratio comes from ratio. Rational numbers. So one of the examples is the fraction. So any number in the form of fraction, they are called rational number. So the integers, they are like this. We have 0 is the middle. Then the numbers on the after the 0, we have them 1, 2, 3, and it goes on like that. Also have the -1, -2, -3.
Of course.
So
these
the 0 is the neutral. That is the beginning. So we have the positive integers. So because we have different types of integers, we have the positive integers, we have the negative integers. Then there is also another type of integer that is called non-negative integers. So that is non-negative. They are the ones like this. So this one non-negative. These are negative. So this is non-negative. Then the positive is starting from 1. Positive is starting from 1. Negative is starting from -1. The non-negative is starting from here. So we have the positive integers, we have the negative integers, and we have the non-negative. So the non-negative, the set begins from 0. Yeah. So these are the ones we have talked about this earlier. So just rushing through them so that we can just know that we have started the mathematics from the beginning. So what are whole numbers? The whole numbers, they are just 1, 2, 3, and it goes on like that. Then we also have the fractions.
The whole numbers. How big is
the big one, the big number, right? Okay, so those numbers 1, 2, it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 4.
It could be any
It
number.
could be any big or whatever number it is. So it's just a whole number, and that's the number. Then the fractions, there are numbers like 2 all over 3, like 1 all over 1 whole number 1 all over 4. So
those are proper fractions.
So this is a proper fraction. This is what?
A proper fraction.
This is a mixed fraction.
I mean a mixed fraction.
Like
I didn't notice the one.
It's an improper fraction.
Yeah.
Right? So these are the ones that we learned earlier. And today we want to start with, understanding each of these and how they are combined in mathematics. And before we go to that, we also need to understand the fact that there are other numbers. Well, we are not going to delve into them. We're going to restrict ourselves to these 3 types of numbers. Then later, as time goes on, we're going to talk about other types of numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's look at so here we're talking about addition of numbers. So we want to add numbers together. To be able to add numbers together, there are two major signs in mathematics. We have the positive sign and the negative sign. Yeah, so these two signs, so we want to use them to add numbers together. When we say 2 plus 2, what are you going to get? You're going to get what?
You're gonna get plus 4.
You're going to get 4, which is plus 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we say 3 plus 2, you're going to get what?
You're gonna have plus 5.
Plus 5. Very good. Okay, now what about when we have minus 2 minus 4? What is it gonna be?
Then you're gonna get -6.
It's gonna be -6.
But
Okay,
there's
good.
also another one about 5 minus 4.
So what about 5 minus 4? What is going to be your answer?
The answer is gonna be plus 1.
Plus 1. Very good. So what if we have minus what if we have minus -6 plus 2? What is going to be the answer?
Yeah, 96 plus 2, then it's gonna be -4.
-4. Very good. Okay, so this is very, very good. So now the explanation behind all this is the fact that there are things we need to know. Whenever we had two numbers together, like this 2 plus 2, what we are doing that is that this 2 that is here has plus before it. So that is when we have two numbers having the same sign and they are adding each other. So we just put them together. That is 2 plus 2 and it's going to be 4. So that is why we have this one to be plus 4. And if the sign is not written there, it shows that the sign is plus. Also, if a sign is not written before the first number written there, it shows that the sign it has is positive. Yeah. But that sign is optionally omitted. It's omitted because it's the first number that is there. But the moment we are writing the second number, then its sign must show. It must manifest its own sign. And that sign is what brings about the addition of these numbers.
But it separates the two
It separates the two, exactly.
Yeah, so that it couldn't be just one number.
Yeah, so you couldn't make just one number. That's good. So now when they have the same sign, we add them together. whether the sign is positive or is negative. Like when we have -2 and -4, the sign is the same. They have the same sign. This is having a minus sign. This is also having a minus sign. So when we add them together, that is going to be -6. Yeah. Now looking at this number here, what is the sign of this one? What sign does this 5 have? What sign does it have?
Plus.
It has a plus sign, but that plus sign is not written because it's the first number there. So that's why it's optionally omitted. That is, if the sign is positive, you don't need to write it. But if the sign is negative, it has to be written. It has to show.
Yeah, even if it's the first number.
Yeah, even if it's the first number. So here, so we now have +5 and -4. So this shows that the signs are different. When the signs are different, what happens? You're going to subtract the small one from the big one. Whichever is the small one out of the two, you subtract it from the big one. So now the answer, you write the answer down, then the sign it will have, the answer will have the sign of the bigger one. So the sign that the bigger one has is what? Is positive. So that is why this one is +1. So that is why we wrote this one as 1. So we could either write it as 1 or write it as +1.
But Daddy, when it's the answer, you don't need to write the plus.
Yeah, when it's the answer, when the answer is plus, you don't need to write a plus. You just write the number there. But if the answer is minus, that minus must be written down.
Yeah.
Like this, in the case of this one is -6 plus 2. So -6 plus 2, we subtract, because they have different signs now. We subtract the small one from the big one, we get 4. Then we now look at the sign. Which sign is the answer going to have? The sign is going to be the sign of the bigger one, which is minus. So it's going to be -4. So another way to look at this is when it's just, it's just a similitude of when you um when you buy and just we compare it to buying and selling. That is when you are borrowing, when you borrow money from someone, like in the case of this one, we can consider the negative to be the money you borrowed, and then the positive to be the money you have with you. Like if you borrow 6 naira or $6 from someone, and you have $2 in your pocket, if you give the person that you owe the $2, you still be owing the person how much? $4. So that means you are still owing the person $4.
Because the $2 is a 2.
Exactly. So that is what is happening there. So this is called addition of numbers. Now we want to look at the other things. Let's look at